Modern everyday carry gear has gotten expensive, but does it have to be? Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, and I'm a knife guy. And thanks to my day job, I get to see a lot of cool gear, and I've built up a pretty nice collection over the years too. But my challenge today is, could I replace my entire everyday carry setup without spending more than $100? Could a true knife and gear fanatic like me be truly satisfied by the budget gear that's out there without having to resort to no-name brands or knockoff products? Challenge accepted. So here is my current EDC, based on my personal needs and preferences. So for this to work, I would have to replace all the functionality that I have here. Budget gear has certainly gotten a lot better these last few years especially, so I think we've got a shot. And I think this list could be especially helpful for those of you out there who are just kind of getting into the idea of carrying stuff like this. Hopefully this will give you some good ideas without breaking the bank. So excluding things like a smartphone, wallet, and watch, because most people who want those already have them anyway, my EDC consists of a primary pocket knife, a rechargeable multi-function flashlight, a ballpoint pen. I used to carry a multi-tool in addition to my knife, but I recently changed to this mini customized toolkit. And last but not least, a carabiner for carrying my keys. Now, the cost to replace all of this right now, even though prices can tend to fluctuate a little bit on some of these items, is right about $370 to $375. So we've got our work cut out for us to get it below that $100 point. Let me talk about my knife and my multi-tool requirements together first, so we can get started. Now, I'm lucky to be able to carry something that I designed myself for my primary pocket knife, and that is the CJRB Maximal. It's what I carry most often anyway. And it's actually pretty budget friendly at only about $50. But that wouldn't leave a lot of room for everything else if we went with this knife. But in terms of the features this knife has that I'm going to say I have to duplicate with the budget alternative, for one thing, a 3-inch blade. Some people like a bigger blade, and that's fine. But for me, a lot of the time, 3 inches is just about perfect. Now, I also want something with a pretty substantial handle, because with just a 3-inch blade, I want something that you can kind of cut bigger with when you need to, as opposed to something with a daintier handle. It's also got to have one-hand operation for the blade, a pocket clip, and of course, a locking mechanism for safety. And preferably, that is going to be a lock with a finger-safe closing action, meaning your fingers never get in the path of the sharpened edge as you close the knife. Decent steel is also going to be essential. And yes, I know that's subjective, but I don't want to have to resort to really basic stainless steels. So as I mentioned, I pair that knife with this multi-tool kit, a multi-tool replacement. And as I said, you can check out some more information on that at the video in the description. The first item in here is the Victorinox Companion Slim Swiss Army knife. Runs about $45 these days. And the key things I'm going to need to carry over into the budget replacement would be the scissors for sure, and an implement that can do some light prying. It also holds a set of the Knipex Cobra XS water pump pliers. And they're $33, $35 right now. And if you tend to think these pliers are a bit of a novelty, yes, they're small, but I will say don't knock them till you've tried them. I like the way these twist, grip, and turn better than my standard Leatherman multi-tools that I've carried for years. It also has this combination of the 711L mini ratchet TG and the T-handle extension that works well with it. The ratchet's about $25. A 2-pack of the extension started out about $18, but the price has kind of moved around a little bit since the introduction. And then this pairs with multiple bits, double-sided in this case, 5 plus 1 in the chamber, so to speak, gives a lot of versatility. Now, I'm not going to concern myself with replacing the ratcheting functionality that this combination brings to the table, but multi-bit screw driving is going to be a must. And I also want to maintain the ability to use this in concert with the pliers. So you can work something from two sides. That's going to be essential. And Honestly, that kind of made my job harder. Otherwise, there's a lot of, multi-bit Leatherman style multi-tools out there that theoretically could have fit the bill. Now for the replacements, and thankfully WorkPro makes a cheaper alternative to the Knipex pliers, and they are pretty dang good, honestly. These were about 16 bucks when I put this list together. But again, if you want to see all of the current pricing on any of these items, check out the links in the description of this video. Those are affiliate links. They can earn me a small commission and keep this channel going. Now, with the pliers taken care of, it quickly became apparent I was not going to be able to afford both a standalone pocket knife and a multi-bit multi-tool as well. So I was going to have to find something that combined those elements together to get what I needed. I've got some runner-up options here, stuff like the Cybertool series from Victorinox, the Gerber Armbar drive, Nextool E1, and this Rocktol, which is basically one arm from a pliers-based multi-tool like a Leatherman. They all have replaceable bits, yes, but none of them quite fit the bill. The Victorinox is too expensive for this project. The blade on the Nextool is small, fiddly to open, and non-locking. The armbar lacks any real pry tool, and the scissors it does have are just okay. And I find the Rocktol and other tools like it to be pretty fiddly to get the blade open as well. Really, it came down to just these two options right here. And yes, I realize they do look kind of similar at a quick glance, but we have the Roxon Flex Companion and the Nextool K30. Now, the Flex is, quite frankly, an awesome little tool. It's actually modular. All the implements are swappable, so you can set it up however you like, but even right out of the box, it does enough of what I need that I wouldn't need to buy any extra implements. It's got a one-hand opening, locking, finger-safe closing blade with D2 tool steel, so the edge retention is going to be quite good. Full-size 1/4-inch bit driver on the back. This one's actually not removable like the other tools. It's got a good pair of scissors and a decent pry tool, plus extra stuff beyond just what my basic needs would require. But at 50 bucks and not including any extra bits, except for the number 2 Phillips that it comes with, that would be an even bigger expense. I just couldn't make this one work within the budget. Now, yes, they do make the Flex Companion Mini, which is even smaller and 10 bucks cheaper, but it's just a little bit too mini for me, at least in this case. Now, when it comes to the Nextool, the implements aren't swappable, but it does have everything I need. And the knife aspect is even more to my liking, thanks to the crossbar lock. Makes it quick and easy, works with either hand, and it gives me that finger-safe closing action I like. The steel is 14C28N, which is stainless. It's tougher than D2, and it still holds a great edge. And the scissors on these bad boys are monsters. They're more like shears, in fact. They're half serrated on one edge to help grab material aggressively. And while it doesn't cut paracord as cleanly as the Victorinox scissors can, it will handle heavier and tougher stuff even better. We've got a non-locking big flathead on one end that'll act as my pry guy, even has a file cut into it. Cross-cut on one side, single on the other. It even has an edge file. And the file itself is, let's just say it's okay. It's not a super high-end file, and it's pretty short as well. Certainly good enough for fingernails. Yeah, it's okay. You get a double-sided awl on the back, a set of tweezers in the handle, a pop-out locking bottle opener, and a locking 4mm bit driver. And the price is right, too. For just 40 bucks, it comes with a double-sided bit, featuring a number 1 Phillips head and a 3.5 flathead. But for just $5 more, you can get it with this expanded set of 4mm bits, giving you 10 extra single-sided options. Winner, winner. So with the Nextool, the extra bits, and the WorkPro, I've got all my tool essentials covered for about 61 bucks. That replaces about $152 worth of stuff. So we're saving over 90 bucks right off the bat. So with the tools sorted, how about the flashlight? What I've been carrying right now has been the Rovyvon A26, slightly older model. The A28 is newer. but this light has 600 max lumens with a great distance reflector. I live in a pretty dark rural area with some open spaces, so that distance throw is very important for me, and the A26 is a pretty darn good thrower, and it runs about 60 bucks most of the time. It's got a lot of functions, including a red LED and UV light modules on the side. It's got a strobe function, a magnetic clip, but when I strip things down to the essentials that I'm going to need the budget option to have, this is what I need to maintain. I need that good distance light throw, USB-C recharging, easy access to both the high and low modes from the off position, a way to set it on a surface and bounce light up off of the ceiling to use it for area illumination. And perhaps most importantly, the clip needs to allow me to place it on the brim of a hat so that I can use it as a headlamp for hands-free illumination. What I've found is the VTIGER K1, which is about $21. It's got a 2-barrel lens array, as you can see, and at 800 reported lumens, it's even brighter than the A26 that I carry now. And the throw, thanks to the lenses here, is actually pretty decent. It's not quite as good as the Rovyvon in that area, however, so despite the higher brightness, in practical uses, as I was walking around the neighborhood, it felt like a pretty even match. The K1 has the requisite pocket clip and tail stand capability. The tail is even magnetic, which is a nice bonus. It's got a recessed button to help avoid accidental activation, and it's got a color-changing LED in the middle of the button that even tells you how much battery you've got left. A long press from the off position brings up the 10 lumen low mode, although I'd prefer an even lower mode for true moonlight capability if I had my way. Then a single press from off will bring you to the last used of the 3 main brightness levels, and a double press will get you that strobing action. Now this light obviously doesn't do quite as much as the Rovyvon, but what it does do, it does right. And it does that for about 1/3 of the price as well. So I'm going to say flashlight sorted. Now for the pen. And one of my favorites is this Tactile Turn bolt action pen. This is the bolt action short, and it is basically like mechanical perfection. And it better be, because this is a $119 USA made pen right now. Suffice it to say, the budget alternative has got its work cut out for itself. I'd like a metal body for durability and full size for writing comfort. I don't want a mini pen for this. And bonus points if it takes the Parker style refill, just personal preference. And it's got to have a bolt action. Let me tell you why. They offer all the convenience of a clicky top pen, but it's way less likely to be accidentally deployed when it's in your pocket. And that's essential for avoiding any kind of inky accidents in your britches. So the company Smootherpro has been making affordable bolt actions for a few years now at least. So while they may not be a household name, they at least have a track record. And this is their least expensive bolt action pen, the TP156. It's got a tungsten glass breaker here on the end, takes those Parker style refills, and it's just over 13 bucks right now. Now, does it feel as nice as the Tactile Turn? Not by a long shot. The balance is a little off for longer writing sessions, and obviously it's not as kind of mechanically perfect, but honestly, it's perfectly fine. Now for the carabiner. This is the Rovyvon U4 Pro Titanium for about 40 bucks. Now it does have some gimmicky add-ons, yeah. It's actually got a scalpel blade holder that I took off, but it's also got a locking 4mm bit driver, and I leave a eyeglass capable screwdriver bit in there for emergency situations. Key feature though is it's got an area that is separate from the gate opening, which can help prevent keys coming loose when you clip this onto your belt loop, which is what I do. A nice budget alternative is the Nite IZE G-Series No. 3 Carabiner, which is a measly 5.5 bucks, and honestly, it does all I need. The spring gates feel nice and heavy. It's even got a completely separate closed off area for the keys, which is even more secure than the Rovyvon. In other words, zero complaints. So with all of these budget items, the grand total comes out to $100.69. Okay, fine. Here's a couple of alternatives to get it right under $100. For a flashlight alternative, you could go with the Wuben G5 and save $1 over the VTIGER. This light has a rotating head with a dimmer switch, rotating pocket clip, various color modes. What I like is that it definitely feels high quality and seems more expensive than it is. But on the other hand, it's only about half as bright as the VTIGER, doesn't have great throw, and if you so much as bump this little sliding cover on the side as you're using the light will cut off. The Wuben is the better gadget for sure, but the VTIGER is easily a better flashlight. Another way to save a couple bucks, I know I said I didn't want a mini bolt action, but you could go with something like the O-Pen Mini right here to get it right in under that point. You know, for me, a larger size pen is going to be more comfortable when writing for any length of time. In the end though, I'm not going to stress the extra couple pennies over that C note that this setup costs, because for this complete EDC compared to my normal carry, this is not a compromised setup at all. In fact, I've been happily carrying it for a couple of weeks, long enough to know that it would certainly work for my needs. But is it good enough? Would I change anything if I could spend just a little bit more money? Yes, but I'm not going to throw value out the window. Here's where I would put just a few extra dollars to make this setup even better. First, I would go with, in my opinion, a slightly better pen from Smootherpro. This is about $2 more, the APG02. It's still aluminum, like the tactical unit, but the balance is better and it's got a lighter weight, so it's going to be more comfortable to use. It's also got a little surprise here, a graphite alloy tip at the rear end, which, you know, can come in handy for me when I'm doing sketches. This company makes a lot of great options though, so I'll make sure to check out whatever you like from them. They're all relatively affordable. I would also, instead of the Nextool bit set, I would pick up this set of double-sided bits from Oknife. Olight is the parent company there. This runs about $13, so it's only an extra $8 over the Nextool set, and it gives you even more options on the go, including a graphite pencil tip there as well. Last but not least, we are going to need some kind of carry solution or organizer solution for the bits and the pliers. Everything else, I can find a perfectly nice place to clip it or pocket it, but throwing those loose in the pockets is not fun. Bare minimum would be something like a zippered knife pouch. This unit here from CIVIVI runs about $7.50, and it's not fancy, but it would at least let you carry these items more conveniently and easily in your pocket. There, now this feels complete to me at a cost of just over $118. Make sure to let me know what you think of this rig, of course, down in the comments, and where would you spend your money if you had to take this challenge. I guess the last thing to address, the last true test of this budget rig is, will I keep using any of these items or switch back to my more expensive stuff? Well, I gotta say, the pen is honestly in the running. The Tactile still feels certainly nicer, but this is a pretty cool gadget here, and it writes very well. And I actually haven't switched back from the Nite IZE Carabiner to the Rovyvon. Shows just how good that is for sure. Anyway, let me know your favorite budget gear down in the comments, and to get your hands on any of these goodies you saw today, check out the affiliate links in the description. And to see more videos like this, do make sure to subscribe. It helps the channel out, helps me reach more people, which again, can help me make more videos as time goes on. Anyway, I am David C. Anderson. I'm a knife guy. I could even be a budget knife guy if I need to be. See you next time.